My name is Detective Adrian Locke. After endless works, I finally got a time to get a vacation. But it also became a crime scene. A woman is dead on the Sapphire Empress, killed by an invisible hand. The only lead, an underworld boss named Marlowe. Now I have followed a trail of breadcrumbs to a cold hotel room in Grey Harbor City. 2 names are already crossed off a hit list, and mine is circled. I have to find the next target before Marlowe finds him. The docks of Grey Harbor always smelled like rust, brine, and secrets better left underwater. Tonight they smelled like fear. I parked my car beneath a half-dead floodlight and stepped out into the cold mist. The receptionist's last whisper still echoed in my head. Harper Vale hasn't checked in for 3 days. People in this city disappear for 2 reasons: because they want to, or because someone makes them. And something told me Harper Vale didn't leave willingly. Her last known address sat at the edge of the water, an old storage warehouse converted into cheap apartments. The kind of place where people pay cash, stay quiet, and never ask who their neighbors really are. I climbed the metal stairway to apartment 12B, door cracked open, lights off, no sound. Bad sign. I slowly pushed the door with the back of my hand. It creaked, but opened. The walls that shouldn't have been tracking me. The apartment was empty. No furniture, no clothes, not even dust. But the walls were covered in photos. Of Clara Argento, of Linwood Pierce, of Harper Vale, of me. Every picture had lines connecting them, red strings that formed a web leading to one name in the center: Marlowe. Whoever built this room wasn't hiding from him. They were studying him, trying to predict his next move, trying to survive. A journal sat on a crate near the corner. I opened it carefully, page after page filled with frantic scribbled handwriting. He's watching the watchers. Clara made contact. She said she had proof. Someone followed me to the docks. If I disappear, tell Adrian Locke he's already inside the circle. I froze. My name, written days before Clara died. Harper had known I would come. That meant one thing: she was still alive. At least when she wrote this. The sound I shouldn't have heard. A soft click echoed behind me. The door to 12B closing. Someone had entered the apartment. I reached for my gun slowly, silently. Footsteps, slow, measured, purposeful, not police, not a runaway. Someone who knew exactly how much pressure to put on each floorboard. Someone trained. I aimed toward the doorway.
Don't!
A woman's voice whispered. Not afraid, not trembling, warning. She stepped into the dim light. Black coat, wet hair from the fog, eyes sharp enough to cut glass.
Detective Locke, if you draw that weapon on me again, you might not live long enough to regret it.
Harper Vale, I breathed. She nodded once, alive. You've been running, I said.
No, I've been hunted.
How do you know my name? I asked her, incurious.
It's a long story. Cara, I and Pierce were friends. Pierce is strange. He is a drug addict. Months before, Pierce and I noticed a change in Cara. When we asked from her why, she said she found something about Marlowe, but she hadn't told what it was.
But she was an art dealer. Why was she chased after Marlowe? I asked.
Oh, detective, she wasn't an art dealer. She was an undercover agent.
What? I shocked when I heard it.
Yes. Poor girl. Got murdered in a ship. She told us to find you if something happened to her.
Before you found me, I found you, I replied instantly. She nodded.
But how you know about Clara? How you know about Marlowe?
She asked. When that incident happened, I was on that ship spending my vacation. I found a clue, a voice memo from her phone. She told Marlowe was after her.
What a coincidence. After she murdered, I noticed a change in Pierce too. I saw he talked with some strange people. I think he works with Marlowe. Maybe he connected to Cara's murder. After the incident, I came here to hide. I don't know what happened to him and where he lived. But he found me. I saw him standing outside some days.
Before I could respond, we heard some footsteps outside the apartment door grew louder. Not hurried, not careless, purposeful, like someone who already knew we were trapped. I motioned Harper behind the wall, slipped my gun from its holster, and kept my breath steady. She pressed against the peeling paint, eyes locked on the door, barely breathing. I stepped forward, the door eased open, and a man stepped inside. Linwood Pierce. His eyes swept the room, pausing on the photos, the red threads, the journal, then on me. He didn't flinch, didn't reach for a weapon, he just stared. Like he expected this moment, like he'd been waiting for it.
Locke, put the gun down.
I will when you tell me why Harper believes you're here to kill her. His jaw tightened.
She's lying.
No.
Harper snapped from behind the wall, stepping into view, voice trembling but sharp.
You followed me for days. You were at the docks. You stood outside my door.
Pierce's expression didn't change.
I was trying to protect you.
Harper scoffed.
Is that what you call standing outside my apartment at 3 in the morning?
He didn't answer, didn't even blink. The silence that broke me, I raised the gun slightly. Pierce, start talking. He slowly reached into his coat. Harper gasped. I aimed for his chest. Easy. Pierce froze, then pulled out a single envelope. Crumpled, water-stained, torn at the edges. He extended it toward me. How did you know I was here? I asked him.
I knew one day you will come here to find Harper.
Before I took that envelope, I hesitated, then took it. My name was written across the front, not printed, not typed, handwritten. By Clara. My pulse hammered in my ears. I opened it. Inside was a single photograph of Clara Argento, taken in a dark room, sitting on a metal chair, hands bound, eyes terrified, staring at someone behind the camera. A timestamp in the bottom right corner, taken 5 days before she died. And on the back, written in Clara's rushed handwriting, Adrian, if you're reading this, they've already found me. My lungs tightened. Harper covered her mouth, trembling.
I think Harper must have told you about me. She must have said we were friends.
Pierce asked while broke the silence.
You murderer. You works with Marlowe, the one who murdered Clara.
Harper shouted angrily.
Are you crazy or something?
I saw you a couple days after Clara's death talking with some strange people, probably Marlowe's men.
Yes. I talked to some people who dealing drugs. It's not because I works with Marlowe, because I wanted to find information about him. He murdered Clara. Clara is the one who always stayed with me. She is the one who helped me to stop my drug addict. I always miss her.
Oh, Pierce, I'm sorry. I misunderstood you.
Pierce's voice was a low growl.
I didn't kill her, Locke, and I didn't come here to kill Harper. I came because you're out of time.
Out of time for what? He pointed at the wall, the web of photos, strings, notes.
He is chasing after us, and you're the last one on their list.
Harper grabbed my arm.
No, he's lying.
But Pierce shook his head.
You think you found Harper by luck? Locke, everything you've done since stepping into room 913 has been guided.
A cold weight settled in my chest. Before I could respond, a red dot appeared on Harper's shoulder. Laser sight, sniper. Pierce saw it the same second I did.
Get down!
I grabbed Harper and tackled her to the floor as glass exploded behind us, the window shattering inward, the bullet tearing through the wall. Pierce flipped over the crate, drawing his own weapon and firing toward the rooftops. Another shot, another explosion of splintered wood. The sniper wasn't missing. He was warning, a final message, a final move. We crawled behind the wall. I pressed my back against the cold concrete, breathing hard. Pierce reloaded, jaw clenched.
They found us. We need to move now.
Harper grabbed my sleeve.
Detective, where do we go?
I looked at the ruined window, the red laser dot slowly drifting across the floor. There was only one answer. The only place they won't expect. I stood and holstered my weapon. Room 913. We headed back to my car. Pierce drove like a man who trained his whole life to outrun death. Harper sat in the back, staring out the window, silent, but not calm. The kind of silence that trembles just beneath the skin. I watched the city blur by in streaks of neon and shadow, every intersection reminding me of Clara's letter tucked in my pocket. Clara, bound to a chair, terrified, still trying to warn me. Someone had sent Pierce that photograph. Marlowe wanted me to find it. Marlowe wanted me to know that this wasn't about a single murder. It was a message, and room 913 was the beginning. Pierce didn't speak until we crossed Blackbridge Avenue.
You sure about going back there?
He asked. No, I said.
Then why?
Because the Marlowe thinks we're running, I said. So we won't. He smiled slightly.
You're either brave or suicidal.
Depends who you ask. Harper leaned forward, voice barely a whisper.
Will Marlowe be there?
I didn't answer, but she already knew the truth. He'd be waiting. He wanted us there. All of this was his design. Grey Harbour Grand felt different this time. Too empty, too polished, too silent. The kind of silence that follows after something terrible is scrubbed clean. The receptionist wasn't at his post. No guests lingered. Even the soft orchestral music usually playing through the speakers had been muted. Pierce scanned the corners.
This isn't normal.
I nodded. He cleared the floor. Harper wrapped her arms around herself.
Why would he do that?
So there are no witnesses. The elevator dinged, a single crisp tone. The doors slid open. No one inside, but someone had pressed the button for floor 9. Harper's breath hitched.
It's a trap.
She whispered. Of course it is, I said, but traps go both ways. We stepped inside. The doors closed. The ascent was too smooth, too slow, like the hotel itself was waiting for permission to let us through. Ding. The elevator doors parted. The hallway stretched out ahead of us, dimly lit, the patterned carpet running like a ribbon toward the far end. Room 913. Its door was open, just a crack. The same crack it had been in the moment everything started. Pierce raised his gun. Harper held my arm. I pushed the door gently with my fingertips. It swung open. Pierce stepped inside and scanned the corners.
Clear.
Harper stayed close to me, too close. Her hand trembled when she touched the wall.
Detective, why did you bring us back here?
Before I could answer, a soft click echoed behind us. The door swung shut on its own. Locked. Harper gasped and spun around. Pierce lifted his weapon instantly. A slow clap echoed from the darkness within. 1, 2, 3. And then a man stepped into the light. Tall, elegant, black suit, hair slightly silver at the temples, eyes ice-cold and amused. He smiled, calm, controlled, almost polite.
Detective Locke,
He said smoothly.
as expected, perfectly on time.
Harper froze.
Oh my God.
Pierce's grip tightened.
Marlowe.
Marlowe smiled wider, hands visible, posture relaxed. Like a scholar greeting guests, not a predator cornering prey.
Welcome back to where your story began, and where it will end.
I stepped forward, jaw tight. You killed Clara.
Yes, she stole something from me, what I needed most.
His eyes slid to me with chilling familiarity.
And now, it's your turn.
Before Pierce could fire, the light snapped off. Total darkness swallowed the room, and Marlowe's voice drifted through the shadows, calm and terrifying.
Let's finish our game, Detective.
Harper pressed into my arm, shaking. Pierce steadied himself against the unseen night, gun raised, breath shallow. A flashlight beam exploded across the room, blinding white. Harper screamed. Pierce aimed at the light. Don't, I shouted, but too late. He fired. The bullet cracked into the wall. The beam vanished. A soft, mocking voice floated through the dark.
Impatient as always, Mr. Pierce.
Marlowe, too close. I moved carefully toward Harper. He's not armed. If he were, we'd already be dead. Pierce hissed.
You sure about that?
No, I said. The flashlight clicked on again, this time behind us. Pierce spun, too slow. A hand shot forward out of the darkness, grabbed his wrist, twisted. Pierce gasped and dropped his gun. The flashlight rolled across the floor, illuminating only ankles and shadows. Harper cried,
Pierce!
"Stand down," I warned him. "This doesn't end how you think."
Oh, Adrian, it ends exactly how I think.
He stepped back into the dark. The flashlight flickered and died. We were blind again, but the next sound was worse than anything so far. A door unlocking. Room 913 had only one door. He was leaving, running, cutting us off from escape. Pierce groaned on the floor, clutching his wrist.
He took my gun.
Harper grabbed my sleeve.
Then we need to get out now.
"No," I said. "We follow him."
Are you insane?
Pierce snapped. "We need to end this now. Either he will die or us," I said.
He is right, Pierce. We can't hide from him forever.
Silence, heavy, suffocating. Pierce forced himself upright. "Then what's the plan?" I moved toward the door, listening. Marlowe was gone, but not far. "We go after him," I said. "Now." Harper swallowed.
To where?
I opened the door to the hallway. Soft emergency lights now glowed along the floor. I stepped into the hall. "This ends tonight," I murmured. Harper and Pierce followed close behind. The stairwell door yawned open like a throat swallowing us whole. Cold concrete, rusty metal railings, a faint echo dripping down from somewhere far below. Harper whispered behind me.
Adrian, this feels wrong.
It is wrong.
Pierce muttered, cradling his injured wrist. "He wants us in here." "I know," I said, "but he also wants something else."
What?
Harper asked. "For me to see whatever he built down there." We followed. The stairwell spiraled like a corkscrew into darkness, lit only by weak emergency strip lights.
What if this is a trap?
"It is," I said. Harper's voice cracked.
Then why are we still going?
"Because this end here, either in good way or bad way." I kept my gun steady, aimed downward as we descended. We reached floor 3, then floor 2, then a landing with no number at all, no sign, no indicator, nothing but a single metal door. Its paint was peeling. The lock was old, the hinges rusted. This room had been abandoned long before the hotel replaced anything else. Pierce frowned.
This floor isn't on the blueprints.
Then what is it?
I gently pressed my ear to the metal. Silence. "No movement," I whispered. Pierce stepped back and gestured.
Ladies first.
Harper glared at him. I slowly turned the handle. It clicked open. A rush of cold air swept out. Wet metallic chemical like a basement that hadn't been opened in years. I raised my gun and stepped inside. Lights flickered on automatically as we entered. Long tubes of pale blue fluorescent light buzzed overhead, painting everything in a sickly glow. The room was not a storage closet. It was a research lab, old but not ancient. Updated recently, tables lined with scientific equipment, centrifuges, chemical analyzers, microscopes, vials of reagents, and stacks of notebooks filled with messy scribbles. Harper covered her mouth.
This is a laboratory.
A metal filing cabinet stood slightly ajar at the far end of the room. Something drew me toward it. Instinct, dread, fate. Inside were dozens of folders, but one was different. Black cover, thick, heavy, labeled Project Solace. I opened it. Harper moved closer.
What is it?
"It looks like a report of an experiment," I said, flipping through the pages. Suddenly, a soft creak echoed from behind the lab door. Footsteps, slow, calm. He had waited just long enough for us to learn exactly what he wanted us to know. I raised my weapon. Harper, Pierce, behind me. The door latch turned. The metal swung open inch by inch. A silhouette stepped inside, tall, straight, unmoving. The lights flickered, and when his face illuminated, Harper gasped. Pierce exhaled a curse. My grip tightened, because it wasn't Marlowe. It was Vargas, the head security officer from the ship, the man who had cleared me for boarding, the man who walked calmly through the halls the night Clara died, the man who shook my hand while hiding the rot in his. He smiled.
Detective, did you miss me?
What the hell is he doing here?
Pierce's voice trembled with rage.
You were helping Marlowe the whole time.
Vargas spread his arms casually.
Helping? No. I was his left arm, his trusted one. The only reason Marlowe lasted this long.
My jaw clenched. So you were the one who covered his tracks? He nodded.
Every CCTV feed, every timestamp, every keycard log. I edited them all. Erased Clara Argento from the ship's timeline before her body was even cold.
Harper whispered, horrified.
She trusted you.
She trusted the uniform, not the man wearing it.
Behind him, two of Marlowe's men stepped into the room. Heavily built, silent, ready. Harper and Pierce were pushed backward, hands grabbed, arms pinned. I felt two sets of hands clamp onto me as well. Marlowe walked into the center of the room like he owned it.
This lab was abandoned after the government scrapped Project Solace, a weapon that kills with elegance, 10 seconds of agony, and then silence.
He tapped a dusty steel table.
But they didn't destroy everything. A few vials remained, and I can use them to leverage over nations.
I stared at him. And Clara? She found out. His smile thinned.
Clara was undercover. Brilliant girl, smart enough to get close. Too smart for her own safety.
Harper's voice cracked.
We didn't know why she was following him. We only knew. She had found something.
And Marlowe
Vargas added.
was already on the ship that night. He killed Clara himself. He wanted the vials. She had stolen one. That mistake cost her life.
My blood ran cold. You murdered an officer of the law. Vargas corrected calmly.
If she had minded her own business, she would still be alive.
He flicked a look to the doorway.
And Marlowe wants to delete the rest of you, permanently.
A metal case sat on a nearby counter, small, sleek, locked with biometric sensors. Marlowe opened it with his thumbprint. Inside were 5 syringes filled with a faintly glowing liquid. Harper whimpered. Pierce's breath hitched. Vargas lifted one.
This is your exit.
Harper kicked wildly, but the henchman held her firm. Vargas approached her with the syringe.
Goodbye, Miss Vale.
A glint flashed from my sleeve. My hidden blade. Before the nearest guard realized what was happening, I slashed upward, clean and fast, cutting deep into his forearm. He screamed, loosening his grip. I twisted free, spun, and plunged the blade into the second man's shoulder. Chaos erupted. Pierce elbowed one guard in the throat. Harper drove her heel into another's knee. Vargas dropped the syringe and lunged at me. I met him head-on. We collided against a cabinet, metal clanging, glass vials shattering around us. He was strong, stronger than I remembered. The kind of strength fueled by blind loyalty and adrenaline. He grabbed my wrist and slammed it against the wall until the knife slipped from my fingers and skidded across the floor. The blade spun to a stop far from reach. Vargas picked up a syringe.
You die first.
He growled.
Marlowe wants to see you beg.
He thrust the needle toward my neck. I grabbed his arm mid-strike. We struggled, muscles locked, teeth clenched, sweat mixing with dust and blood. He pushed down. I pushed back. But I was stronger, just barely. With one desperate surge, I twisted his wrist. The needle pivoted, aiming back at him.
No, no.
He tried to pull away. Too late. I shoved. The syringe plunged into his chest. He gasped, choked, eyes wide with terror.
No, 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 not me.
He collapsed to his knees. His scream tore through the room. His body convulsed violently. Blood poured from his nose and mouth. He clawed at his chest, tearing at his own skin. Veins bulged beneath the surface. His voice broke into a bubbling choke. His eyes rolled back. He slammed against the floor, twitching uncontrollably. A final guttural gasp. Silence. Vargas lay still. Dead. Harper staggered backward, horrified.
Jesus Christ.
Pierce whispered.
No one deserves that.
When that happened, Marlowe grabbed the metal suitcase that was filling the remaining syringes. Then he ran. He hadn't even cared about Vargas. He just wanted the suitcase. I exhaled hard. We need to move. Marlowe won't waste time. Right on cue, shattering glass echoed overhead. Marlowe bolted through a back exit. I ran. He sprinted down the corridor. I gained on him. We collided near the stairwell, the suitcase flying from his hand and crashing against the concrete. The vials rattled inside. Marlowe snarled, punching wildly.
You ruined everything, Locke.
We fought, hard. This time, he was faster, more desperate, more vicious. His elbow cracked my jaw. My knee caught his ribs. He slammed me into a railing. I drove my fist into his throat. But I knew he wasn't fighting to kill me. He was fighting to escape. He lunged for the suitcase. I grabbed it first and smashed it across his face. He dropped, unconscious. Harper and Pierce caught up moments later, bloodied but alive. Harper collapsed against the wall.
Is it over?
Almost, I said. Minutes later, sirens wailed above. Special response teams stormed the building. Marlowe, still unconscious, was hauled out in cuffs. As he was dragged past us, he opened his swollen eyes and whispered,
I will come back.
Harper placed a shaking hand on my shoulder. Pierce let out a long, broken breath.
We owe you our lives, Detective.
Pierce said. No, I replied. Clara saved us long before I did. The three of us stood in silence as Marlowe was loaded into an armored van. The night air was cold, the city lights distant. But as the van drove away, a strange peace settled over us. Pierce murmured,
What now?
I looked at them. At least for tonight? We survived. For the first time in a long time. That felt like enough.